Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 24th of August, comes to you from London. And the markets are recovering. We see this showing up in the S&P 500 index chart. These are optimized stops. Just press the S key on your Updata system. We see the long-term stop at 8%, the medium-term stop at 4%, and the very short-term stop at 2%. This is a one-day signal delay. So it's quite key, but we see how we've recovered, and a new high will push this trailing stop higher still. So these give you the stop levels. Quite interesting just looking at that on the market. Taking a look at currencies, first of all, we look at the dollar index. This is the long-term, medium-term and short-term view of the chart. We are just seeing the dollar index falling away a little bit. It just did break a little bit higher than the March-April high, but that is a resistance level at the moment, and we are just seeing a pullback, but it looks like it will break through there. The euro sitting at 117.40 this morning, recovering on that weaker dollar. Sterling also up slightly, recovering on that weaker dollar as well, and against the euro, sterling sitting in around 117. Pretty static, the rate over the last few months. Bitcoin was above $50,000 yesterday, has pulled back slightly this morning, but still in the bull trend, and this 83,000 target still very much in train. We've got it now a short-term target if we can make new highs at 54,600 if we break to a high that was higher than yesterday. The S&P 500 index recovered, as we talked about, and we're up 0.8% and back to bullish on all three time frames. That upside target, 11%, 12% higher, is still very much there. On the Nasdaq, we're seeing a target of around 15% higher, and on the 0.5% chart, 25%. So looks like tech still has the ability to go higher. The futures are up this morning. The S&P future up 0.25%. The Nasdaq E-mini just up under 0.5%. Tech pushing higher, and if we look at the FTSE future, up just slightly this morning. The cash market in Germany up 1/3%, and the CAC 40 in Paris up 0.4%. Japan was up 0.9% overnight, and the Hang Seng up 2%. Not a big move, but just recovering some of the fall that we have seen of late. And if we look at the Shanghai Index, we're seeing here we're up as well. We're up 1%, recovering some of that lost ground that we saw at the end of last month. The Sensex in India continues to push higher, up 0.5%. Target's still there, 60% higher from here. And the Aussie market was up very slightly. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Wheat is down 0.5% this morning, but still looking pretty strong on the long-term charts. Just short-term, we are seeing a little bit of a sell-off. Corn is up 0.5% this morning, but again has looked weak on that shorter term chart. Gold breaking the $1,800 mark, which is a relief for the gold bulls, and we are just seeing here we still have a little bit of work to do on that medium term chart, but short term we are looking better and the long term trend holding. Silver had a torrid month last month, and we are just seeing again a recovery into bullish territory there on the short term. And precious metals have suffered lately, especially palladium, which has had a pretty tough week, but we're just starting to see, last week it was pretty tough, but starting to see a little bit of recovery there. And US 10-year yield sitting at 1.27%, just teetering along in these high 120s. In the energy mix, we've got Brent Crude this morning up. So we have seen a little bit of a bounce here on Brent Crude, but the interesting thing is, of course, that we still have the lower high and the lower low very much in train, and then a new low still. So realistically the pattern hasn't changed. Medium term we're still bearish. Short term we are seeing just a little bit of bullishness, and WTI the same thing. These are just going to be counter trend moves now. The US nat gas price sitting at $3.94. If we look at coal, we're sitting at 104.50, holding that 100 level is pretty key now for coal. 99.50 was the level. We do have a downside target. We'd need a new low to activate that, but looks like we'll still go higher. Emissions very much in this range at the moment, just waiting for the break there. Holding that 53.50 level is going to be pretty key, and of course if we can make a new high that would be good. Looking at MBP this morning, we're up 4%, so strong recovery in train here, and the same for TTF. We are still bearish below the cloud on the medium-term chart. We've just got to watch out for any new lows. That would be bad news for gas. Looking at German power, we're up 0.7% this morning. We were bullish on European power, on Nordic power this week. Felt that was looking the more bullish of the markets, and we're seeing here that we are still holding trend here, so that's looking pretty positive. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you there.